So one of the things that you had said in an earlier conversation we had is that, and you brought it up here, you want to have your customers be a megaphone for you. But a lot of us were hesitant to actually push that and be proactive and have people actually talk to our customers because we're always worried, okay, well, what are they going to say, right? Even the best relationships, you just that kind of like it feels like less control. But you've brought it up here, you brought it up before, the opportunity for the customer megaphone. And what's your recommendation on that? Like, 'cause we tend to be hesitant, right?
I mean, here's a good thing, right? A lot of prospects right now are asking for reference calls, so it makes it already easier, but it should be part of your playbook, in my opinion, right? And even you say, here's a couple of references that you can call Mr. Customer or Mr. Prospect, right? I mean, maybe if they'd even call, but just that you give that to them, provides you the trust that is needed. That's one side. The second side, which in my opinion is so interesting. Every time on our website, we were often tend not to talk to our customer about give me other names of people that I can call on your behalf on, right? Because I mean, again, most of those, if it's a CISO or a CIO and you ask them like, hey, do we have anyone else in my area that I can call to, which you recommend? It's a very important question, for two reasons. One, if he says yes, then he basically, that he's super happy about your product and what you do. If he says no, then there's maybe, okay, then you have to dig in a little bit deeper. Either he doesn't want to be referenced, he's just not part of the culture of the company, or there's a problem and then at least and you can fix it. So I just think you need to be really proactive with all your customers about it and ask them to speak at an event or whatever. And good customers tend to do that. It's a partnership. At the end of the day, you need to create a partnership with your customer, a trusted relationship. It takes time for the partner, for the customer, but also for us. But you have to spend time with them to make sure that you earn the trust of them. That's what it's all about.
So let's dig into that a little bit. There was a gentleman, a four-time B2B CRO, that was on the podcast about a month ago. And he said, Steve, we all have to spend time with our customers. Right. And so we were talking about that. And he said, I got to stop. And he said, and this isn't inside of a sales conversation. He said, this is outside of a sales conversation. Like, how would you reflect on that? Like, you just started talking about how important it is to talk with customers.
It's true, right? I mean, again, I think you can have like, for example, I'll give you an example. You can have two type of product management. You can have a product management that is very much internally focused, or product management on the road all the time and talking to the customer, understanding what they need to go back to engineering and say, this is what I need to develop. So he's right. I mean, in that regard, you should. I also think marketing should talk to customers to say, hey, what is your need? Talking about, the more you talk to the customer about how they are using your product, the better it is, the better you will become as an organization, and also allows you to get internal alignment, because when you talk about the need of the customer, all of those other functions understand that because they have been talking with customers as well. So he's spot on. Now, again, that's not a DNA thing sometimes, as you know. Sales are tending to talk to customers more than other functions, but it's definitely something that you need to try to push. And this is also why I think in the leadership teams, we need to make sure that everyone feels comfortable talking to customers. I think it's super important, right? And it's not always easy, but everyone needs to do a little bit of an effort on it. And that's why you can actually start with, for example, executive relationships that everyone owns. So every exec on the CEO suite owns like 10 relationships as an exec. These kind of things helps to cultivate that kind of culture, but it also helps both the customer, but also the different divisions to understand what's really going on and take an ownership as well. It can't only be sales. It cannot be.